I did 8.3, and then I realized there's just a little I left out. This is important, it has to do with the last couple problems, which you won't be able to find examples of because they were done by a colleague of mine years ago. And so I was going to show you how to do one of those. And hopefully you can work through the other one yourself. Okay, so this one has to do with how much would it cost to tile a kitchen and a bathroom? And they draw a large picture of the house, and then they ask you how much will it cost to tile that house, just the kitchen and the bathroom. And so you have to look and go, well, they label the kitchen and the bathroom. The kitchen is 12 by 10 feet, and the bathroom's 8 by 6 feet. And so we got 12 times 10 is 120 feet squared for the kitchen, and 6 times 8 is 48 feet squared for the bathroom. If I'm going to tile both of those rooms, I have to add that together. Go, I need 168 square feet of tile. So I need not feet to the fourth, but square feet of tile. Then it tells me that the tile costs $4.98 per square foot. So if I have 168 square feet and I'm paying $4.98 for every square foot of tile, by the way, that's dollars per square foot, you can now see that the feet cancel out, and I get 168 times $4.98. It's 168 times $4.98. It's going to cost me $836.64. That's supposed to be an $836.64. Look at that. I switched the numbers all around on that one. That's the thing you guys have to be careful of when you take a test is you don't do those kind of things. Okay, so it's going to cost that much for just a tile. That doesn't necessarily include the cost of completing, having the tile installed if you're not doing it yourself. And I strongly advise you not to. The other thing that is in that section that I did not cover has to deal with similar shapes. And the example your author likes to use is similar triangles. And so there's an example with how tall is a tree. And this one always reminds me of my neighbor's got these really tall palm trees. She's cut them down. Too bad because I really like them. But they were so tall. I used to wonder how tall are they? Well, the way you can find out how tall they are is that you take your own height. I am basically 5.25 feet tall. That's a quarter of a foot is about 3 inches. I used to be that. I guess I probably still am if I have my shoes on. So I'm 5.25 feet tall. So if I go outside, there's me. Yeah, little stick person there. And I look at my shadow. If I look at my shadow and I have somebody measure it, I can't measure it myself because if I've been down, it changes. So I have somebody measure my shadow, and let's say my shadow is 8 feet long. Then I go to the tree and I measure its shadow. So that's 5.25 is my height, not the shadow's. And let's say the shadow is 64 feet. So now I can figure out how tall is the tree. So I do that by setting up a proportion. The tree's height is to the tree's shadow as my height is to my shadow. I have to do both of these measurements at the same time of day, otherwise, obviously, the sun moves and it won't be accurate. So I multiply, and that gives me 8x is equal to 5.2564. And if you don't remember that from having learned it before at any time, you can go to just go to YouTube and ask it for a little video on how to solve a proportion. That's basically what you're doing here. You divide both sides by 8. So I take 5.25 times 64 and divide that by 8. And I get that the tree is 42 feet tall. And they were tall trees, 42 feet tall. And that's how tall the tree is. All right, so that's one way to find a height of a tall object.